All right. Hey, hey. All right, guys, welcome back. This is episode 4, and we left it on the moon card. What else has our man with the beard discovered about himself now that he's free, now that he's out of captivity? What has he discovered? What is his inner wolf howling for? The sun, the moon to the sun. What he's howling for is happiness. He's howling for a very different life. He's howling for, in this case, freedom from confinement. We see the tower back there on this 10 of swords. Nothing about the way he's been living his life is actually correct. Nothing. So, we began with him in a very happy energy. We began with him saying, I was happy. Thought that I had let things go, and now we see what actually happened. We see the entirety of his story and how he's come basically full circle, which makes sense because we're talking about the sun and the moon, which is the energy of the divine masculine and the divine feminine. So this is equal and balanced counterparts. But also remember, anytime we talk about anything in the solar system, we are talking about orbits, we're talking about rotations, we're talking about coming back around. We orbit the sun, the moon orbits us. That feels like we have characters that have both been doing their own exploration, their own, coming round full circle to finding their identities and discovering who they are. I would say that for him, he's balancing out his masculine and feminine energies because this is the feminine, this is the masculine. If part of him, like realizing he has wanted his life to be a certain way, but he wasn't taking charge of it and making it happen until now. Until now that he's free to go ahead and go out there and make things happen. So if he is choosing his path now, and the sun is always divine masculine energy, it is clear direction. Let me ask this. He is just now discovering he is far more driven than he ever realized. He is far more driven than and driven for something different than what he ever acknowledged to himself. So what is it that you're really driven to do? We see him happy, which is amazing. We have the boy of swords, so we've got that knight of swords, which is fast moving energy. We have the fool, and we have the eight of swords, and yet again it looks a lot more like what we would expect with a knight of swords because we have this racing horse. Now let's not forget, next year is the year of the horse, the fire horse, no less. That fool, Aries energy, he's got wings on his backpack. There's those Rudbeckias again, or black-eyed Susans, same name for the flower, or different name for the same flower. We have him not just clear visioned and excited, but we have him ready to race forward, ready to take all kinds of leaps in whatever direction he ever wanted to go, but didn't. The directions he felt held back from with the Eight of Swords, the things that he wanted that he wasn't allowed to have. This is like, this person could all of a sudden start to do all kinds of things that he was like prohibited from doing back when that Queen of Swords made decisions on his behalf, made decisions for him, about him, treated him, like he was a child that, she needed to control. There could have been many things that he missed out on, but right now he may have a laundry list, but with a couple things at the top of the list of what I really wanted, but wasn't allowed to have because I allowed someone else to tell me what was good for me, what I wanted, what I didn't want. So let me just ask, on this laundry list of things that you may be, the only reason I think it's more than one thing is because of that Eight of Swords. There were many things he was held back from. And so I'd like to see, what are the things you are now absolutely going for? Okay, Two of Pentacles. He may have always wanted to move somewhere, live somewhere, travel somewhere. There was always something that he wanted to do that was like, oh no, you can't do that. Oh no, you don't go there. Oh no. I don't know if he was like prohibited from like maybe family, maybe that Queen of Swords was always like, oh no, you don't need to travel. Oh no, you don't need to go see other places. This is the best place. No, you can only go to the places I've approved. This could also be like a cultural, like, don't leave the boundaries of the community, or only visit this country and this, but don't go anywhere else in the world. And it could have been like, why am I prohibited from going outside? Well, because if you go outside the confines of what the Queen of Swords had laid out for you, it means you could have outside of the world influences. You could step outside of this teeny tiny fishbowl that or aquarium that you were being kept in. And I feel like that's just it. He had point A or point B, but what about the rest of the world in between? I feel like this is somebody who, whatever they were permitted to do, they missed out on the whole rest of the world and all kinds of experiences and traveling to new places. Like that wasn't permitted. And now he's like, I've got to see more of the world. I've got to see more. I got to taste different foods. I got to explore. Okay. We have temperance. It's also possibly different, like spiritual beliefs that he might gravitate more toward. Um, just this card particularly makes me think about spiritual beliefs, things that give him peace that might be different than the way, he was raised or what he was expected or permitted to, research or believe in or explore. If he has a spiritual or religious background, he could actually not share the same opinions of things that the Queen of Swords believes in, for example. He may lean toward more. It's just because of uh, the marigold color, the golden marigold here, and the kind of like lei that's around her neck. That makes me think of like more of Buddhism here. Um, that's in like Nepal, for example. There's like the marigold is a really powerful symbol, and it's oftentimes marigolds are strung and they're worn as garlands around the neck, or they're hung by temples or around homes and such. And it's so beautiful. I love that so much. Um, that comes across like perhaps there is a spiritual component to him that he would like to explore, something that actually gives him peace. And maybe it is a more like Buddhist approach or something. We have the high priestess, though, as well, right after that. So we know that it's her, right? The woman that he decided like, oh, it's fine, I'm not going to be with her because we weren't really meant to be. She's kind of a headstrong, independent, and I wouldn't really have matched with her, and that's fine because she had her path to go in and I have my path to go in life. And he was told that and told himself that that was fine, that's all good, it's fine that I'm not with her. No, it's not fine. It was never fine that he wasn't with her. That has always been the thing that he is like, now more than ever he's realizing so loudly in his mind. It was never fine that I let her go. It was never fine that she was somehow the forbidden on the other side of this mysterious doorway. I wanted to join her. I wanted to go there with her. I don't know if she has some connection to ancient Greece or ancient Egypt or the cosmos, but she represents mystery and ancient wisdom and something very sensual and perhaps forbidden fruit. Now, bear in mind, sometimes we look at the high priestess as the goddess Hecate, and the goddess Hecate is usually the goddess of the threshold. She is the one who lights the torch and lights the way for the traveler to step across in the next plane of existence. She is associated with all things occult. The word occult simply meaning things that are hidden, things that are mysterious. But that's also why she carries a torch, typically to light the way. She doesn't try to hide information. She's comfortable dealing with the things that are in the subconscious or the things that are not super visible because she taps into it. Look, the same stuff that exists in the daytime is also right there in the nighttime. There's no reason to be afraid of what's hidden in the dark because it's the same stuff that is in front of our eyes in the daytime. Doesn't fear any of that, but she lights the way so other people don't get lost in the dark. So it's an interesting energy. She's also heavily associated with dogs. Oftentimes she'll be seen with several dogs around her. And it's said that when dogs pass away, they all go to be with the goddess Hecate. And she typically has three faces, three heads. And I always think of her as somebody who can like guard the crossroads and look at, what's coming to the left, what's coming to the right, what's coming straight forward, so that she can determine what passes through the gates and what doesn't. But ultimately it's she's a reassuring and beneficial type of goddess in mythology. but it just kind of seems like she was mysterious. She represented the gateway to the unknown, but also this brave, shining light. And I feel as if he is so aware that that's more the path he wishes he had taken. That's what he's hungry for. That's what his inner wolf is howling for. And she may have a different viewpoint on belief systems as well. She could have, a little bit of all kinds of ancient belief systems all rolled up into one. She may have studied different like religious backgrounds or different cultural backgrounds. She may be an interesting menagerie of mysticism and something very down to earth and working with the flow of the universe, which makes perfect sense because we spent a lot of time describing who the high priestess was. We have a Nine of Swords upright. We have the Eight of Pentacles and a slightly tilted energy. The other thing, and I do feel like he was taught to be fearful of the unknown, and yet I think he knows that that's been a bunch of bunk all this time. You can't be afraid of the unknown. You pretty much should gravitate toward seeking the unknown. This world is a huge place with so many different animals and so many different plants and so many different, geographical locations to explore. And there's so many different people on this planet. And we all have our own unique contribution. Why would that be scary to go and explore it? But he was taught to be fearful of what was different. And I feel like now he's like starved for the very things that were supposedly, oh, don't do that. It'll stress you out. Don't do anything different. It'll stress you out. Don't be with someone different. Don't open your mind to something different. It might challenge your beliefs. I feel like he was held very controlled, like his mind and his thoughts were controlled as well as to what he was allowed to explore or want to learn about. And was told anything that is unfamiliar to what we've already taught you, that's bad and scary and you should stay away from it. And I feel like he's like, honestly, I want to break out of my very tiny world. I want to break out of my little teeny tiny, I want to gravitate toward the things that are supposedly going to stress me out. I want some freedom. Freedom was supposed to be scary. That's how he was indoctrinated. He is unindoctrinating himself now. With that Eight of Pentacles in particular, there's something about even a different career path. Maybe he wanted to change career path, do something totally different to earn money. Perhaps he wanted to work in a different industry. I don't know. I'm seeing like maybe with all the lights and, neons and such, maybe something to do with maybe lighting or maybe electronic or something that would have been completely different than the job that he works in. I'm picturing somebody who wants to go into like cybersecurity or something to do with, like more modernized, like maybe he really likes computer type stuff, something along those lines where there would be a big flow of possibly also international context, international finance. Maybe it's something to do with banking. But he wanted to work in a completely different field than that which he has been, in for some period of time. All of this, these are big changes, right? Big changes for him and what he wants now that he's being honest with himself about what he truly wants. So my next question then is, so with all these big, huge changes, where does your adventure take you now? What are the decisions you're about to make? We're going to keep going on this for right now. What are the decisions you're starting to make? Because he is absolutely transformed and freed from, like, I don't think he can be controlled anymore by that Queen of Swords in the reverse. Yeah, Nine of Wands, he is a lighthouse at the moment. He is standing tall and brave by himself for a hot minute, catching his breath, feeling refreshed and renewed. We have the Five of Cups in the reverse, determined. No wonder he's happy. He's happy because he's not going to miss out on things that he wants anymore. He still has plenty of life to pursue the things that he wants. He has an idea to have his 10 of Cups, and he's formulating a plan to speed this up and go after what he wants swiftly with that Knight of Swords. We have a Four of Cups. We have a Two of Swords in the reverse. This is something that I don't know if he has a plan to like accelerate everything. I think he might be like working on hyperdrive, wanting to do everything that he never got to do all at once. Like he could be changing career all of a sudden. He could be, you know, about to pursue this high priestess all of a sudden. He could be about to travel all of a sudden. Everything is like, I am busting free. I'm picturing like a rodeo bull that's busted free, and is going to get to do whatever they want, but like busting out of the arena. They're no longer anybody's rodeo bull. They're not here to perform. They're not here to let people ride them and try to buck them off. They're not here to do any of that. They're free. And it just feels like someone's out to range, you know? And it's like, I got to make up for lost time. We need to explore what this Four of Cups is, because this is a card of disappointment, disillusionment. Who is that? It feels like he's about to talk to someone. I don't know that I think that that's the high priestess, but this person looks very like judgy of his choices, or like not supportive at all. Who is this Four of Cups? Six of Wands, Empress. He may have a boss that he's going to tell, like, I'm going to be leaving. And that could be a boss going like, excuse me, what? But my success in my company was dependent upon you being here. Yeah, I don't think he cares. I think he's breaking the news to everybody right now. I feel like he is leaving and saying goodbye to the things he used to have. Two of Wands. Yeah, I'm going in a different route. Are you quitting something cold turkey? Are you like walking away from a job immediately? Wild card, yes. Three of Pentacles. Yeah, he may have, you know, created a bit of a savings or something. Even though this is still wild card, he has something to fall back on of his own because of that granted it's a puppy, but he's been loyally, like, maybe this is one of the good indoctrinations. Maybe it was always like save a certain amount of money so you have a nice nest egg. He could be like cashing out a 401k though, or he could be saying, I have enough savings. I'm literally quitting cold turkey. I'm quitting a job that was never right for me, a career path I didn't want. That seems to be his first order of business, not rushing towards some high priestess, not immediately taking a trip somewhere, but first and foremost, I need to cut myself free of a career path that isn't right for me, never was, liberate myself, and then go out and maybe for a hot minute, for 3 weeks or something, I need to go and enjoy my life. I need to work toward seeing if I can pursue things that I really want. That would be an enjoyable endeavor for him, to finally be trying to get a job in what he really wants, or maybe he's even going to get into a training program. It could just be like a 3-month training series or something. But yeah, Hanged Man and Strength card. He has to first prove this to himself. He has to first get his own ideas like solidified. He has to show progress for himself on the path he wants to take. So he's dealing first with like career path and developing like the confidence that this is for me. I'm doing this for me. I'm picking a training program for me. I want to go ahead and show that I can do something else, and it's for me. That's the first step for him exercising his newfound freedom. Okay, I want to know what else he is exercising, because as he settles into some kind of newfound, there we go, there's our high priestess again. I am so not surprised. Okay, I'll see you guys in part 5. Thanks for giving this a thumbs up and subscribing. Part 5, a link will be right there in the description box. See you in a minute.